Okay, hi green kids. This is the last. Oh, don't cry. This is the last Birds with Marmi. And after this, if you know all these bird names, you're kind of a bird expert. And anytime somebody talks about birds, you'll know what they're talking about. So we're going to do 14 today. And then in all, we'll have about 45. And we'll have a big prize for whoever can remember all of them, or even whoever remembers the most. So if you only remember 10, but nobody else remembers 10, then you're the winner. Oh, and okay, so I'm going to go kind of fast and tell you what I know about these birds, but these are a little more unusual birds than some of the others. Ready? Y'all ready to go? Okay, this one is called a brown pelican. He's a brown pelican, and they live at the ocean, and they dive in water and eat fish, and they keep the fish in those long bills, those long beaks. But that's a pelican. You might see it if you go to the ocean. The next one is a mallard. It's kind of a fancy duck, I think. That one is called a mallard. Remember again, the male on the bottom is the brightest colors, and the female is a little boring. That's a mallard. Okay, this one is a pretty bird. Does he kind of look like a cardinal? He's not a cardinal. What's different? See if you can figure out what's different. A cardinal's hair sticks up on top. This one doesn't. It has a smooth head. It's called a scarlet tanager. You can just remember tanager, but scarlet means red. It's scarlet tanager. Okay. The next one is called an egret. You only see those if you live at the ocean or around a lot of water. Those are egrets. And actually, my map on the back says they do live up inland, but they have to have water around. These are egrets. The next one, you're gonna love this bird. Actually, you're gonna not love this bird. This is called a brown-headed cowbird. And guess what this bird does? This bird is the laziest bird in the whole world. This bird lays eggs in other nests. Like this bird will go lay eggs in the nest of a cardinal or of a robin. And the mother sits on all the eggs and raises it, and birds are not that smart. She thinks it's her bird. And that bird doesn't have to do any work. No, the cowbird just lays the eggs in other nests and then flies away and doesn't feed them or anything because he's lazy. Now, the other thing interesting about the cowbird is if you throw the cowbird's eggs out, I did that one time. A cowbird laid eggs in our cardinal's nest. Then they come back and they peck the other eggs. They're mean and lazy. We don't like cowbirds. Let me tell you anything else about them. That's all I know about the brown-headed cowbird. Okay, these are pretty. This is called a red-winged blackbird. You can tell why. It's a red-winged blackbird. This one, I want you to always remember, if a bird is yellow, it's probably a warbler. Not all of them are, but if it's yellow, it's probably a warbler. That's what this is. It's just called Wilson's warbler, and they're all over the United States, and it's called, hey Mabel, come in here. Come here, Mabel. It's called a warbler. So when you see yellow, it's a good guess to say, oh, that's a warbler. Okay, next one. This is a roadrunner. Have y'all seen the cartoon? Roadrunners chase things. They're very fast. Let me see if this tells us. They live in dry, open places. The distinction is They run smooth and very fast, like their feet just go like this, but they run smooth. Mabel, come in here. You want to play with something? Here's something, play with this. Okay, so that is called a road runner. This one is an American crow. Crow. I don't really know why, but sometimes if you make a mistake and you say something and it turns out not to be true, people say you're eating crow. Well, I think that means that you don't get the best of the supper because you weren't right. I don't know how it is, but that one is called the American crow. This one is a raven. Edgar Allan Poe had a poem about the raven, and it said, "Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary, this raven came on my door." Ravens are cool. They're outside. They're not going to come in the house, but that's a raven. Okay, next one. This is another woodpecker. This is called a pileated woodpecker, and it looks like Woody the Woodpecker. That's a woodpecker. Okay, here is, what do you think this one is? I just told you a hint. Anytime it's yellow, it's probably a warbler. That's what this is, a warbler. It's called a yellow warbler. Next one. This is a European starling. And me and Papa don't like these. They're pretty, aren't they? They're real pretty. And see, they've got little stars. Let me get close enough. They've got little speckles all over them. European starling. You want me to tell you why we don't really like them? Okay. There were no starlings in America. Starlings were only in Europe, across the ocean, a long way away. They were forever away, but there weren't any in America. And one person decided he wanted to take a starling, and he took it on a ship in the 1800s, a pair of starlings. I think it might have been about 25 or maybe even 50, but he brought starlings, and they got loose in New York, in Central Park. And so all the starlings started having baby starlings, and now they're called invasive because they took over all of the places where purple martins used to live, in all the little holes and all the little places that purple martins used to live. Starlings took over, and they were not from here. And so now when we open up our purple martins in the backyard, we have to watch out and make sure no starlings get their spot. And we figured out a way to do that. We'll tell you about it. But this is called a starling. Notice he has a gold beak, so he looks different than purple martins because he has a gold beak and he has spots on it. That's a starling. We're almost done. We're on the last one. Oh my word. The last one is called a Canada goose. I want to say Canadian goose, but their real name is Canada goose. Now the thing about these that I want you to know, they come to Plainview every October to the duck pond. And thousands come. And they leave every March, and they go back to Canada. Now, why do they come to Plainview in October? Can you guess? Because all the water froze in Canada. All the water froze, so they have to fly down here looking for water. And they come in October, and I go see them, and we feed them. In fact, y'all have fed them with me at the duck ponds, I think. But these are Canada geese. It is a Canada goose, female and male, and they come to the duck pond, and they are called migratory birds. They migrate, and when they're in Plainview next time, I want to show you them. It's a Canada goose. I'm exhausted. We finished birds. We're not doing any more birds, but I want you to watch this again and again until you learn the names of all these birds, okay? That's about all the birds I know. But as you get older, you'll be glad that you remember some names of birds. Okay, I love you. I'm gonna go take a nap maybe. I'm actually going to read my new book that I'm reading because I can't get enough of books. But we'll start reading some more children's books and maybe even some sports books, because I know some of this might be a little boring to some of you older boys. But we're going to try to do some fun stuff while we're stuck at home. And I love you and I miss you. I miss having every single one of y'all at my house. Y'all be good today. Bye.